success with UW. Obviously, I'm a teacher. I do run a Slimming World group as well, but my business hasn't grown from the people I've actually known from those situations. It's actually grown from social media. Hands up, who has ever posted anything about UW on social media? Okay, hands down. Who's never put anything on social media? Okay, hands up who's had success of social media. Okay, interesting. So, the way I've done it, okay, I'm not saying that I'm an expert by any means, but it is through referrals of social media. It's not me putting adverts up there, and you know those purple images that we get from the company? If you go on the feed, it's not just all purple, okay, because I'm not being funny. Everybody just unfollow you, wouldn't they? Right? And a bit boring, a bit corporate. So what I've done, when I'm speaking to people, showing them how to save, what I ask them, and I show them the benefit of them giving me a little review and obviously telling them about what's in it for them. Not what's in it for me, what's in it for them. So basically, I ask them to write the review, but I'm a little bit more clever than that. I write it for them, okay? So straight away, whilst I'm still on the appointment, I send it over to them or give it to them and say, look, just copy this onto your feed and tag me in, because what happens then, if I'm tagged in, I follow up on that. So anybody who likes that review or puts a little comment, I'm on that straight away and following up with a message. What happens then? That customer that put it up gets £50 off their bill. Happy days. Once I had a police officer sign up, and within 2 weeks he had £800 off his bill. Absolutely amazing. South Wales police officers, love a bargain, okay, so they were all on my case. But what happens as well, obviously, if they are putting the review up, there's a bigger reach. It's not me putting things up and it's just getting to my friends, it's getting to their friends. So think about how that goes then, okay? Then we've got consistency of posting. Now, when I asked who's put things on social media, do you put things up every day? How many times do you put things up? Oh, is it? Oh, I heard social media works, I'll put something up. It is about being consistent. This morning I had a little nudge off my friend over in the corner, Kaylee over there, and she said, Nick, get off Facebook. I said, I've got to do something quick, because I've got to keep the consistency, or the algorithm will slip, so that you will keep on coming up on the top of people's feeds. It's not about the likes, because if you look at my posts, some of them haven't got any likes at all. I don't sit there and cry in the corner, because what's happened, I've planted the seed in those people's minds, where maybe in 6 months' time or in a year's time, when they are moving house, or they have had that awful bill like we just heard about, they're thinking, oh yeah, there's that girl that mentioned this and that. It's not just kind of a flash in the pan. Being relatable is one thing. Can you put one of the slides on for me, please? Thank you. Right, so we've got some images here, okay, of when I was saying there about my customer referrals. So we've got Phil there. Michaela had mentioned that she had saved. Shelley then, obviously following up there, I had a message, I had to scribble it out because of the potty mouths of some of my customers. Because she was absolutely elated that her bill, because of the cashback card, was £22. What happened from that? That was shared, and loads of other customers then put in messages on there and sharing how much they had had. And what happens then? They all get in touch wanting appointments. So it's just about spreading the word, really, and putting the positive messages out. Okay, can we have the next slide, please? Okay, so being relatable, this is my husband here, okay? He's a police officer. This was Christmas Eve when I sit in crying with all the wrapping paper and all the wrapping that I had to do on my own whilst he was out in a field doing something with a horse, right? There he was, he's meant to be on duty. That doesn't look like catching burglars to me. But it is about being relatable. It's not just the highs and the lows. People could relate to that. You're in the house sorting things for yourself, your husband is there. And also, police officer, they know I'm not genuine. How many people think, oh, it's a scam, that thing she does, it's a scam. Her husband's a police officer, it's not a scam, right? I wouldn't be able to do it. So it is about, look how many likes that had then. That had 93 likes on that. So then my posts were coming up in all those people's feeds because they had interacted with that post, okay? So it's not all about posting UW things all the time. Then again, you're also building rapport with them. So when people are getting in touch maybe who know Owain and not me, they feel like they already know me because they're getting a nice little rounded version of my life, and the rapport is already there when we're getting onto the appointment. So it's building you on social media, really. If we go to the next one. Okay, so the incentives then, again, you're building a brand. So it's putting out there a kind of a lifestyle that people want a piece of. Okay, you want to be positive, you want to feel and show yourself in a positive light. Nobody wants to go and get involved with a negative Nelly, do they really? You want to be with people who are upbeat, successful, achieving things that maybe you want to achieve. So I put this out there and just showing the kind of things that we can get, which are easily achievable. But also just put a little bit of humour into it. You know, I got it delivered to my mother's house. That was my kind of contribution. Then we just needed to get somebody to cook it. So yeah, so it's just building a bit of a variation then. And then, what was I going to say? Just being authentic, really. Putting you into social media, not just kind of copying somebody else. Be authentic, or like I said, it's going to be scrolling past. So making you on social media.
Brilliant, thank you, Nick, and that's wonderful advice, isn't it? One top tip, we've raced through that in a very short time, but one top tip for social media.
100% consistency. Sarah said earlier about consistency, I think is the key word. If you're going to do one 20k, or you're going to do one time neighbourhood letter, or one social media post, the success isn't going to come. It comes by doing things day in, day out, and I think it was Liam that said there, making it look like you really enjoy doing it as well, because you're going to get people in and joining you, and that's what we want, isn't it? People to join us, join our teams, grow our business, and get us where we want to be. So definitely consistency.
So yeah, UW, I think the biggest word we've heard repeated all day so far is consistency, and you know what, that's why the company promotions for holidays, consistency. They want you to be consistent year in, year out. So over to James for his consistency and his success. Senior team leader, over 150 personal customers, and he has had most success from another way. Over to you, James.
Yeah, so I do a lot of networking. Sometimes as well in our business, the things that we've been doing for the last year, 2 years, might only get us to the next level. And I thought, well, what can I do? And I joined networking. Now, there are two types of networking. One is what we all do. We're all natural networkers when we're speaking to people in day-to-day things, such as in the gym, whether that's at a club you attend, or there's a professional networking organisation or organisations. But to be clear, you don't go and have to spend hundreds of thousands of pounds on joining networking groups for things to change. You just got to be able to speak to people about what you do. Now, one of the things that I think we've heard a few times today is about duplication and keeping things simple. And to make things even more simpler is if we were to go and speak to people with the attitude of, I'm going to make lots of different friends, then everything else will change. You'll be more relaxed. You won't think, oh gosh, what am I going to say to this person? How am I going to get an appointment? Just make friends with people and find out what people's passions are. You know, be interested, not interesting. The one thing that we're probably all guilty of doing sometimes is playing trumps. So when someone's telling you about a brilliant holiday that they've just been on in the summer, we go, oh yeah, I've been there actually twice. You know, make people feel good, don't play trumps. And one of the things that I also wanted to focus on today is asking questions can be so powerful, and finding out people's pain points is even more easier. And if we let people speak, rather than, you know, we've heard it from Hannah earlier, we've got 2 ears, 1 mouth for a reason. If we let people speak and tell us exactly what they like doing in their spare time, it gives us a great opportunity at some point to turn around and say, you know how you love going to on weekends away with your family, how often do you get to do that? And straight away you can see people's shoulders drop, because people haven't got the time or the money. And what's brilliant about this business is it gives us time and money. And in networking, obviously you do quite a lot of one-to-ones, or it could just be having a coffee with your friend after a gym session. And one of the main things during your one-to-ones is when people tell you your pain points, don't jump onto them straight away. Don't jump onto them straight away. Don't look like you're trying to recruit them. Offer a solution to their problem. And one simple question you can ask people is, Hannah, you know how you said that you wish you had more time? Would it be okay if I showed you an option to allow yourself to have more of that, or whatever it is? And it's very, very hard for that person to turn that down once they've told you what their pain is. Whether they do anything is a completely different thing, but once they tell you what it is, you know, everything will change.
Brilliant. Okay, so we all do networking. Some people pay for it, some don't. So if you don't want to pay for it, you can network in the library. If you want to be quiet and whisper, you can network in the pub, you can network at your Skittles, you can network at the gym, you can network in the park, walking your dog, in the church. Absolutely everywhere and anywhere we're networking. As we walk in, we're paying for our coffees. As we're paying for our shopping, you're networking. But James has got one little story about being at the gym. Do you want to share that now? Have you got time?
Yes,
Real quick.
you know, when you're fishing in the right ponds, people that tend to go to the gym are disciplined, they're consistent. Exactly what we're looking for people in our teams to do. And there's a gentleman that turns up to the gym, he's a bit nervous, didn't know anybody, built up a bit of rapport, found out he's an ex-rugby player. Every time we're going into the gym, we're talking about on the weekend, you know, how did the Wales game go? You know, he's all excited. And asked him loads of questions. He was in aviation, he was retiring, but he didn't want to do absolutely nothing. He wanted to have something else. He said, what is it you're doing? I said, well, look, I've got to shoot off. I'd love to show you what we did. And because over a month's period, I was interested rather than being interesting, it didn't matter what I was going to go and show him that I did, he was already going to be part of it. And one of the questions I would ask ourselves to ask each other is, how would you like to be introduced to this business? Because that's a really, really important question. Because people will often introduce partners the way we were introduced ourselves. And I think that's a really, really key message as well I wanted to share.
Perfect, thank you very much. Now, without further ado, please give them a good standing ovation.